Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sales Intel show, the Pipeline Pioneers, where our goal, our mission is to help the community learn from the practitioners, from leaders, and from the experts as to how to build the most robust pipeline for their businesses. Because we believe that a strong revenue pipeline is the heart and blood of any organization. And building a pipeline is not just the BDR organization or the marketing's responsibility. It's the team sport, right? It truly takes a village to build a pipeline that converts into revenue. So today I'm excited to have Kyle from Jellyfish. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us, Kyle. To start, why don't we start with telling the audience about Kyle, your business, and how in your role do you impact the pipeline for Jellyfish?
Yeah, so I lead marketing for Jellyfish, Series C company, software company. We help engineering leaders communicate the impact they're having on the business, efficiency, productivity of their teams, much like sales uses Salesforce for, or marketing would use Marketing Cloud for, as an example. So for me as a marketing leader, we impact pipeline pretty dramatically. And the way that I look at it is you're sourcing pipeline and you're helping close pipeline. So sourcing and converting. And marketing is involved in pretty much the entire pipe model, even post-sale. When we start talking about expansion and upsell pipeline, we are involved in 100% of it.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Kyle, last year was hard, right? For a lot of SaaS companies where, we did a bunch of experiments that didn't work out. We didn't hit our numbers. And it was just a hard year. Hindsight being 2020, when you look back at things that you did, is there something that jumps out to say, you know what, I wish I had done this thing differently? And what was the learning from that?
Well, I mean, we're in a very lucky position that we had a great year, and through turmoil, Jellyfish kind of grows because of how we position the product. So for me, it was mostly how do we make sure we are converting pipeline in a meaningful way. And that, you can list a ton of different things underneath that, whether that's competitive or messaging, positioning, persona work, use cases, how the sales team's going about driving somebody through the sales stages, as an example. So ultimately, overall, it was how can we convert the pipeline we're generating in a more meaningful way.
Got it. Well, congratulations. Last year was hard for a lot of companies. So the fact
that we count ourselves lucky that we have a product that is perfect for these type of situations, whether that's AI or remote work or what we won't mention, which happened in 2020.
Yes, it's more productivity. Everybody's looking for more productivity. So now that you have a good year, I'm sure the Series C company, the board has set up even higher target for you, right? And you are thinking creatively, trying to figure out the new experiments. Is there one experiment that you are, or one initiative that you are excited about for 2024 that will impact the pipeline?
Yeah, more personalization of content. I hesitate to say like account-based marketing because it's really just marketing, but us spending more time and energy making sure that we're creating the best experiences possible for the people in the pipeline and the people that we want to sell. So instead of just batch and blast and making sure the BDRs are using the same messaging, we are being way more personalized, more one-to-one. How do we make sure that we're surprising and delighting prospects in a meaningful way in 2024? And that would lead to what we talked about from last year, which is better conversion across the board.
Yeah, that's great. Can we double click on that a little bit for our audience as to how at scale do you personalize one-on-one? Is there any tool, or do you have any processes, or what's the secret recipe to personalize at scale?
Well, I think it's as good as your data set is. So we rely on LinkedIn and Zoom info and firmographic data to make sure we're making the right decisions around like contact records. So having a strong data set, but also using tools like Intellimise or Mutiny is another example where you're personalizing and changing content based off of who's visiting the website, as an example. But ultimately, it's making sure that you are focused on titles and personas in a meaningful way. And the CTO of a enterprise software company is going to be very different than the VP of engineering at a Series A, right?
Exactly.
And just making sure you understand that, making sure your team understands that, making sure you're creating the right content, case studies, everything that kind of goes into making sure you're speaking the same language of the person visiting. And it's not perfect. I mean, it's at least directionally accurate for the most part.
Yeah. It's at least much better than sending the same case study to everybody in your database.
Yeah, right. And you should. I mean, marketers shouldn't do that. That's like it just means you're lazy, or you don't have enough case studies. But that's a marketer's job, in my opinion.
Yeah. And quite honestly, that's the message that we give. Not to pitch here on this webinar, but Sales Intel is in the business of providing the high quality data and intelligence, so marketers can use this data to personalize the messages. So that's good to hear. All right, so shifting the gears, Kyle. Let's play an interactive game here. I'm gonna share my screen.
Oh, this is actually interactive.
It is actually interactive.
Oh,
right?
This is awesome.
Yeah, we don't.
I'm
just say it is interactive. We play interactive. So here's the game.
That's great.
Here's the game. So you have 100 pennies, right? You have 100 pennies. Each coin there is 10 pennies, and then here are all the initiatives, because we know growth comes from many channels, right? Your pipeline comes from many channels. If you had 100 pennies, in which case, as a Jellyfish CMO, you have your 100 pennies. Where will you put your pennies across all these initiatives to generate the most optimal pipeline for your business that converts to revenue?
Well, if any of my competitors are watching this, just be aware that I might be trying to throw you off here, just to be clear. Okay, so first one would definitely be 3 pennies on community.
Okay, 3 pennies on community. Here we go.
Yeah, based off of our persona and how, engineering leaders and engineers and engineering managers and how they interact. I put 2 in partnerships, the stage of growth that we're at as a company. Partners, the partner channel is growing, of course, for us, and is meaningful to kind of differentiate your go-to-market model, right?
Absolutely.
I put 2 in brand.
2 in brand.
Because
what are some of the brand initiatives that you have that you're putting 2 pennies?
Yeah, I see. It's everything from. I would actually put brand and event kind of together, but are you at the right events? Are you creating industry leading content that people want to read?
Yep.
Analyst relations, like messaging and positioning. Our category is maturing or starting to mature. So the podcasting, what's a better experience in terms of direct mail, like all that stuff, I think is brand. But I would layer brand in over a lot of this stuff. And then it'd probably be 1 penny in sales and 1 in marketing.
1 in sales and 1 in marketing. Here we go. Perfect. This is a well distributed with a focus on community, brand, and partnership, right?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of overlap with a lot of these, right? Like we could probably simplify it even more. But for me, it's your customers, your best sales people, and the customers are a part of the community. And as you move up market, like any business, partnerships become more important with, the McKinseys of the world. And, I would argue product, sales, and marketing kind of all go hand in hand. It's just depending on where you,
This is great. This is a great distribution. So Kyle, this is the slide that shows you how community.
Oh, does that mean I had the wrong answer?
Community, there's no wrong answer here, right? It's all about where you're placing your bets, right? Maybe you have the right answer, and the community is going to learn from your bets here. So this is across hundreds of practitioners, leaders, experts, how they invested their 100 pennies last year, right? And some part of this year. And I'm going to overlay what you just gave me on this chart to show you how your bets stack up against the community's bet. Is there anything that surprises you here?
No, I think it's context. I think it's very much contextual on how people view the definitions of these terms, right? Because I would argue that brand, community, marketing are all, rising tide that lifts the sales-led ship if you're a sales-led organization, right? Might be even product-led. So it doesn't surprise me that sales-led is 100% to the right, but as a brand marketer, rising tide, you're not going to convert the pipeline as well. You're not going to create enough pipeline. It all goes hand in hand. And ultimately, sales quota attainment is primary because bookings is what's most important.
That's right.
So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for participating and placing your bets. I would love to come back to you in a few months and see how your bets in community, partnership-led, and the brand model are working out. Right? I'm
Absolutely.
sure
I would love
our
it.
guests are going to get a lot of value from this. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.